Hello there, welcome. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I just want to wait and see and if any of my subscribers get any notifications from my channel. Hopefully this will work properly, successfully the first time. It's a new computer, and I want to say thank you to everyone that did bear with me the other day when I tried to do it. I was learning how to use the actual way, app to do the live streaming like this. I had never done it before, so this is all a learning experience for me. So Bobby, hey, how you going, mate? Good to see you here. Sounds good. Excellent. That's good to hear too. Excellent. Great. Wonderful. Yeah, I had to get a new computer, but I couldn't afford it, but had an old family friend help out and buy me one, so yeah, it was great. So what I was just going to share with you all, I was just going to do a test to see how this works, if the sound works great, and just put on a video and show you. I don't know if everyone's seen it before or knew about this, but I didn't know about it, so check this out. Hang on, I'm not sharing the screen, am I? Oh, I'm so sorry. See, this is all the joys of learning. I'm so sorry. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. Hang on. Let's go back. I am so sorry. This is all new to me, like I said before. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Need to connect. I did change it. I asked and I had a suggestion to what should I do? And yeah, oops, what am I doing? Hang on. Share. No, that one. That's the one. Why is it doing that? Is that sound playing through properly? Have I got this right or not? Is that sound coming through? Like, is the video sound working? Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Can I just do it this way? Okay, I've got an idea to fix it because I don't know what I've done here. Hang on. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I moved that. I am so sorry. I'm just like... So sorry. Thanks for sticking with me. It's just, yeah, like I said, I'm learning. Okay, hang on. Hello there. How you going? Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you're on the world. Let's say welcome to my subscribers, not subscribers, trolls, bots, and... Now, is that working? Welcome to my subscribers. I'm just going to check on my phone. Hang on. So, is it working? Can you tell me in the comments, please? Because, like I said, all this is new to me. That's why it's always good to have someone there with you helping you out. I appreciate everyone. That's why it's always good to have someone there with you helping you. So when I play this, the sound works fine, yeah? Yeah, the lurkers are like, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Just want to know, have you ever heard of a turbine car? Yeah, the lurkers are like, well, I had none until the other day. So I'm going to share it. It wasn't really a big production thing. Okay, the Chrysler turbine car is an experimental two-door hardtop coupe powered by a turbine engine manufactured by Chrysler from 1963 to 1964. The bodywork was constructed by Italian design studio, and the Chrysler completed the final assembly in Detroit. A total of 55 cars were manufactured, 5 prototypes, and a limited run of 50 cars for public user program. The car was styled by Elwood Engel and the Chrysler Studios, featured power brakes, power steering, and a torque fight transmission. A root-colored paint called Turbine Bronze it featured for the paint. The Chrysler Turbine engine program that produced the turbine car during the late 1930s and created multiple prototypes that successfully created numerous long-distance trips in the 1950s and early 1960s. The A831 engines that powered the gear-designed turbine car that would operate on many different fuels required less maintenance, lasted longer than the conventional piston engine, although were more expensive to produce. After testing, Chrysler conducted a user program from October 1963 to January 1966 that involved 203 individual drivers in 133 different cities across the United States cumulatively, driving more than 1 million miles or 1.6 million kilometers. The program helped the community determine a variety of problems with the cars, notably their complicated starting engine procedure, relatively unimproved acceleration, and subpar fuel economy and noise level. The experience also relieved key advantages of the turbine engine, including their remarkable durability, smooth operation, and relatively modest maintenance requirements. After the user program ended in 1966, Chrysler reclaimed the cars and destroyed all but 9. Chrysler kept 2, 5 are displayed in the museums. in the United States and 2 in private collections. The Chrysler turbine engine program ultimately ended in 1979, largely due to failure of the engines to meet government emission regulations, relatively poor fuel economy, and prerequisite of receiving a government loan. 1979. They had to have the fuel element. Background. Chrysler began researching turbine engines for aviation applications during the 1930s, in leading primary executive engineer by George Huber. After World War II, Huber was part of a group of engineers who began the idea of powering a car with a turbine. Other members of the selective Chrysler research team worked on automated turbines, included fellow engineers Bud Mann and Sam B. Williams. The concept intrigued them, largely because turbine engines have fewer moving parts than the piston-powered counterparts that can run on varied fuels. According to historian Charles K. Hyde, by the mid-1950s, Chrysler had led the way in gas turbine research, although General Motors and Rover also built operational turbine cars after World War II. After improving their turbine design, most notably by engineering a regenerator to resolve the issue with heat exchange, the Chrysler team efforts reached maturity when they mated a turbine to an otherwise stock 1954 Plymouth Belvedere. Heating and cooling emissions and exhaust were among the principal engineering challenges which faced the turbine engine. Chrysler tested the Belvedere, claiming that the turbine engine contained 20% fewer parts and weighed 200 pounds, 91 kilo less than comparable conventional piston engine. On the 16th of June 1954, the company publicly unveiled the turbine-powered Belvedere at its Chelsea proving grounds in Chelsea, Michigan, in front of 500 reporters. Chrysler unveiled its next turbine car, a 1956 Plymouth, on the 23rd of March in 1956. Huber drove it 3,200 miles, or 4,860 kilometers, on a 4-day trip from New York to Los Angeles. Although the car was shadowed by a 14-person convoy of mechanics with fuel and spare parts, it only required 2 minor repairs on the trip, neither of which were engine-related. The coast-to-coast journey success that led Chrysler to double its size of turbine production and move from Highland Park, Michigan, to a larger facility on Greenfield Road in Detroit. The program began generating several patent applications in 1957, due largely to the contributions of a metallurgist, Amy Boy, and engineer Giovanni Severini. The next iteration of the Chrysler turbine engine, the second generation engine, was placed into a 1959 Plymouth, which averaged 19.4 miles per US gallon, or 12.1 litres per 100 kilometres, which is what us Australians would use. On a trip from Detroit to Woodbridge, New Jersey, the mileage was substantially higher than 13 mpg, or 18 litres per 100 kilometres, achieved with the first generation turbine on 1956 New York to Los Angeles journey. After Chrysler named former accountant Lynn Townsend to its new president in 1961, its company unveiled its next third-generation turbine engine on February 28th. The CR2A was the first Chrysler turbine engine to be officially named. Unlike its more experimental predecessors, the CR2A was designed with an eye on cost and production methods. While the engine was under development in May 1960, Huber said it would serve as its own torque generator, 140 horsepower or 100 kilowatt, having an acceleration lag of 1.5 seconds compared with 9 seconds for its predecessor, and weigh 150 or 400 pound, or 68 to 204 kilo, less than its comparably sized piston engine. Third-generation turbines were mated to a variety of vehicles, including a 2.5-tonner or 1960 Dodge truck, the Chrysler Turbo Lift Freight, concept car. Redefined CR2 turbines were installed into a 1962 Dodge Dart and a Plymouth Fury. The Dart was driven from New York City to LA in December 1961, and the Fury completed a journey from LA to San Francisco in January 1962. After Hubner arrived in LA with the Dart, he spent 2 hours giving journalists rides in the turbine-powered car. Chrysler had brainstormed its fleet of turbine car dealers across North America, Europe, and Mexico by February 1962, visiting 90 cities, giving rides to almost 14,000 people, and seen by millions more. The third-generation turbine program ended at the 1962 Chicago Auto Show that month. While the company displayed the turbine-powered fleet, shortly before the show, Chrysler announced the upcoming fourth-generation turbine engine. It planned to install a limited run of 50 to 75 cars, which would be loaned to the public at a no-cost rate in 1963, a decision largely due to enthusiastic public response to the brainstorming tour. The engine. The Chrysler turbine car is powered by the A31 Chrysler fourth-generation turbine engine. The most notable difference from its predecessor, the CR2A, was its use of its twin regenerators, one mounted on either side of the gasifier, instead of a single top-covered mounted heat exchanger. The design helped the A831 trim 40 pounds, or 18 kilos, from the CR2A's weight, reducing it into relatively light 410 pound or 186 kilo. Hubner described the turbine as similar to a jet engine, noting that it only had one spark plug and about 80% fewer parts than a typical automotive piston engine. Due to their construction, the engines did not require antifreeze, a cooling system, a radiator connecting rods, or crankshafts. The A831 could operate on a diesel fuel, unleaded gasoline, kerosene, and a PJ4 jet fuel. Leaded gasoline damaged it. According to Chrysler, it could burn a variety of unused fuels ranging from furnace oil to perfume, peanuts, soy oils. Mexican President Adolfo López Mateos ran one of the cars on tequila after Chrysler engineers confirmed that it would do so. The engine produced 130 bph or 97 kilowatt hours at 36,000 rpm. 425 pound or 576 mm of torque, and idle between 18,000 and 22,000 rpm. At idle, the exhaust did not exceed 180 Fahrenheit, 82 degrees Celsius. When driven at 120 mile or 193 km/h, the turbine ran at its maximum of 60,000 rpm. The A831's compressor had a pressure ratio of 4:1, an efficiency ratio of 80%, a combustion rate operated at about 95% efficiency. Compared to the conventional piston engines, twin engines generally require less maintenance, last longer, and start more easily in cold conditions. The A831 started properly at temperatures as low as -20 Fahrenheit, -29 degrees Celsius. The car first to receive an A831 was a Plymouth Fury, a gear-built turbine car. The engine had a 0 to 60 mph or 97 km time of about 12 seconds. Due to the exotic materials and strict tolerances needed to build the engines and invest casting method in which they were made, the A831s were very expensive to produce. Chrysler never disclosed the actual cost. Design. The turbine car was styled in the Chrysler studios under the direction of Earlwood Engel, who had worked at Ford Motor Company before moving to Chrysler. Due to its resemblance of the Engel-designed Ford Thunderbird, the car is occasionally called Engelbird. According to Hubner, the design was intended to compete with the Chevrolet Corvette in addition to the Thunderbird. The car's bodies were handmade by Italian design Studio Ghia, which had built several of the concept cars for Chrysler, including an Imperial Limousine and the Norseman. The mostly completed turbine car bodies, which were assembled, painted, trimmed, and upholstered by Ghia in Italy, were shipped to Chrysler's Greenfield Road turbine factory in Detroit for final assembly. This consisted of installing turbine engines, torque-fit transmissions, electrical wiring, components such as radios and heaters. Building an individual car may have cost as much as $50,000 to $55,000, equivalent to $417,000 in 2020, to equivalent to $459,000 in 2020. Vigil Exner Jr. estimates that the bodies themselves cost about $20,000, equivalent to $160,000 in 2020, although Chrysler never revealed the cost of each turbine engine. The first 5 cars were completed in early 1962 as prototypes used for troubleshooting. Each were slightly different from the others, varying in exterior color, interior upholstery, roof material. Early problems discovered in prototypes included sluggish acceleration, attributed in part to the relatively heavy-handed bodies, and vibration, ultimately determined to be caused by the treads and the noticeable due to the usual smoothness of the turbine engine. A total of 50 identical turbine cars were built between 1963 and 1964. They were all two-door hardtop coupes, all with air-over-powered brakes and power steering. The cars had independent and front suspension with coil springs at the front wheel. Each wing Chrysler come temporary standard and independent front longitudinal iron torsion bar, although the rear suspension utilized off-the-shelf leaf springs. All 4 wheels were equipped with power-assisted drum brakes. The car's body is finished in metallic root beer colored paint known as turbine bronze. Its headlights deeply resembles taillights. Turn signals and pod-shaped backup lights are mounted in chrome bezels. The turbine-inspired style carries through the center console design in the interior, which has a bronze-colored leather upholstery, deep-piled bronze carpet, and brushed aluminium accents. The cars have black vinyl hardtop covers on the roof, leather upholstered bucket seats, and white wall tires. The Turbine's car's dashboard is dominated by 3 large gauges, a speedometer, a tachometer, and a prometer, the latter monitoring the temperature of the turbine's inlet, like the engine's hottest component. Its appearance is mostly stock, although the tachometer and the prometer displays abnormally high readings compared to piston engine cars, 46,000 RPMs and 17,000 Fahrenheit, 930 degrees Celsius, respectively. All 55 turbine cars had identical ignition keys. And they all have the same key. User program. 2 of the cars gave rides to visit at the 1964 New York World Fair. Another went on a worldwide tour. 50 were lent to the general public as part of user program. The cars were given to the drivers for a 3-month program at no charge aside for fuel costs. Participants also gave Chrysler in-depth interviews within 2 weeks of returning the cars. During the user review, which ran from October 1963 to January 1966, the car's operational downtime was reduced from 4% early on to 1% by its conclusion. The user program helped identify a variety of problems within the cars, including a stellar malfunction at high altitudes, difficulty in mastering the usual 8-step starting procedure, for which some users resulted in engine damage, and the car's relatively unimpressive acceleration. Nonetheless, the turbine engines were remarkably durable during comparison to contemporary piston engines. The most cited advantages of turbine engines, according to participants' interviews, were smooth and vibrational operation. Reduced maintenance requirements and ease of starting in different conditions. Most common complaints concern with slow acceleration, subpar fuel economy, relatively high noise level. Investigating the later complaint, Chrysler found that the distinctive sound of the car's turbine, though reminiscent of a jet engine, was positively reduced by 60% of those involved in the user program and disliked by 20% of their fellow users. The car had a conspicuous warning labels conditioning drivers to avoid using lead gasoline. Although the turbine engine could run on it, the lead additive left diluting deposits in it. The only fuel which Chrysler recommended not to use was by far the easiest to obtain during the user program. Fuels commonly used by those participating in the user program include diesel, the home heating oil. More than 1 million miles or 1.6 million kilometers were accumulated in testing by the 50 cars given to the public, which were driven by 203 users before the program ended in 1966. The users lived 133 cities in 48 continuous states in Washington, D.C. 180 were male, 23 were female. Their ranges ranged from 21 to 70, and 60% were Chrysler owners. Legacy. April 1966, Chrysler produced product planning and development vice president Henry Cheeseberg noted that 50 test cars would be taken off the road regardless of whether Chrysler Turbine car went into production. Chrysler destroyed 46 of the cars after it finished the user program and other public displays. 45 of the cars were burned and crushed at the scrapyard south of Detroit, and the others were destroyed at Chrysler Chelsea Proving Grounds. A widely circulated explanation was that the cars were destroyed to avoid substantial tariff on the imported gear bodies, although author Steve Leho confirms that it has been largely discredited. The destruction of the cars was in line with the automotive industry practice of not selling non-production or prototype cars to the public, according to Leho. The decision was influenced by Chrysler's public relations concerns, the potential difficulty of keeping the cars running, and the fears that owners would replace the turbine power parts with piston engines. Chrysler quoted was, "Look, our main objective is research, and we don't want turbines turning up on used car lots." A similar practice was later used by General Motors with its EV1 when it terminated the program and destroyed most of the cars in 2003. Chrysler's development of turbine engines continued from the late 1960s to the 1970s, resulting in creation of fifth and sixth generation engines. The turbines ultimately failed to meet the government's emission regulations and had relatively poor fuel economy, despite promising early results and $6.4 million contract from the Environmental Protection Agency. Despite promising early results and a $6.4 million contract from the Environmental Protection Agency. And in October 1967, according to Charles Hyde, the company's effort to enlarge and diversify its turbine program was unsuccessful, and spread is already thin. Executive talent pool even thinner. In October 1967, the Department of Commerce report concluded that the turbine engine was unsuited to automobiles. Development continued on automotive turbines in part because turbine exhaust contains fewer unburned hydrocarbons and lower concentrations of other pollutants. March 1971, the Williams Research Corporation continued developing a turbine engine with funding from the National Air Pollution Control Administration. Chrysler's turbine engine development continued through the mid-1970s, with later concept versions of engines being installed in the Dodge Aspen. However, the program and the seventh generation engine were discontinued in 1979 as a requirement of the Chrysler Corporation Loan Guarantee Act of 1979, as well as due to its inability to attain enough fuel economy. One Chrysler turbine car appeared in 1964 film, The Lively Set, painted with blue racing stripes. It was the only turbine car not painted bronze. Only 9 Chrysler turbine cars have survived. 2 are kept by Chrysler, and 3 are initially retained by the company. 5 are on display at museums around the United States. 2 are acquired at private collections. Chrysler has displayed one of its cars at the Walter P. Chrysler Museum in Auburn Hills, Michigan. The 5 cars on museum display were donated by Detroit Historical Museum and Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. The Michigan Transportation in Kirkwood, Missouri, in Patterson Motor Museum in LA, and Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. In 2005, the Detroit Historical Museum lent its car, which had been in warehouse storage, to Gilmore Car Museum, Hickory Corners, Michigan. All cars donated to museums had their fan assemblies removed to render their engines inoperable. Although the car owned by the Museum of Transportation was restored and returned to operating condition in 1980, allowing it to appear at car shows. 2 Chrysler Turbine engines have been acquired by private collectors. One is owned by an unknown person since it being sold in March 2021. The car was originally donated to the former Hanna Collection in Rio, Nevada, purchased by Domino's founder Tom Morgan, then sold to Frank Klepsy of Fort Wayne, Indiana. The second is owned by a comedian and television host, Jay Leno, who purchased one of the 3 Turbine cars originally retained by Chrysler in 2009. Leno's car was featured in BBC television show James May's Cars of the People. Both privately owned Chrysler Turbine cars are all operational. So there's its location. So there's that. How cool is that? I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you to all for supporting me and learning how to do these live stream videos. Yeah. Yeah, poor Brittany, she's got it really hard, eh? Like, there's something weird going on there. Something really weird. The poor girl looks like she's been drugged up. Like, every time she does a video, it looks like she's drugged up. Now, tell me, is this sharing? I'm just trying something else. Alright. Let's check this out. I'm not going to play the full video of it, but I just want to show you. Listen to that. It's just like your jet engine sort of turbine, isn't it? It's unreal. You know, so much technology has been hidden from us. So yeah, I'll just share that one with you guys. So yeah, poor Brittany. I really I'm not sure. I haven't heard from a while what's going on with poor Brittany. I generally do hear about it. If you want to try and catch up with me, about the only sort of social media that I do have is Twitter. I don't really have any other. I don't have Facebook or anything like that. I don't have Instagram. So yeah, if you want to find me, I'm here on Twitter, or you can also find me my email. If you use like a computer or iPad, you can go to the in the About section, and you can find my email in the About section. But yeah, I don't want to show too much of my Twitter. I'll probably get a strike. You're not allowed to talk about certain things. So, but yeah, a giant centipede ready for a deadly foe. It's coming to get you. So, yeah, I think there are resets and all that kind of stuff, mate. I really do. I think it happens every couple of 100 years by the look of it. If you look at history and the way it's been changed, it's like my little saying, 1% controls the world, 4% are sellout puppets, 90% are asleep, 5% no one are trying to wake up the 90%. The 1% don't want the 5% waking up the 90%. Do you get it? That's my little favorite saying I like to say. So yeah, I'm not sure what else to share. I've been researching, yeah, Indigo. I've known about it for a while, but timelines, and I've been trying to work out the timelines for a while, and Joseph Scaliger really, really messed it up for us, and to understand a lot of things, pardon me, you need to understand syntax, grammar, English, and it's not as easy as people think it is of just saying words like they've heard on the internet. It's not that easy. So, but if you want to know about syntax, grammar, on my YouTube channel, I have a subscriber, and it's at Russell J. Gould. David Winnemiller has passed away, but Russell J. Gould is one of my subscribers, so check him out. But yeah, I'm not sure what else to share. I'm not sure if this is going to work by just clicking on this. Yeah, it will. But did you see the video I showed Alan's channel with the free electricity in Cambodia? My friend actually went there. Okay, so it didn't open that link. Okay, so let's close that one. And so I think I'm getting better with this. I really do. Yeah, I think I've got it. I think I understand how StreamYard works now. Yeah, I think I have, yeah. It's not easy to do it. Yeah. So, but I don't know. Don't know what else to share. There's some pretty cool videos I've got up here, like this ancient robotics one. I mean, come on, tell us. Like, it'd have to be like a real robot. Do you know what I mean? Like, he is just so cool. You know, apparently he walked around the island several times a day. Like, how cool is that? Our technology, we've gone backwards. We're not going forwards. We're going backwards. But yeah. But yeah, I think I might just leave it at that. I don't know what else to share with everyone. I sort of wasn't prepared to go this long. I didn't think it'd even last this long because every time I've tried to do it, I have no success. So I want to say thank you to you all for what's this? I watched a video of a guy who reverse engineered while washing to reduce electricity. Yeah, a washing machine. Yeah, I think I might have seen something similar. I've been looking up those batteries. Not the Baghdad batteries, the other batteries. There's another battery before the Baghdad battery. But yeah. Thank you, Need to Connect, and you have a good one too. I appreciate you for stopping by and watching. And I think I do have StreamYard worked out now. I think I understand it. I think I know what I've got to do to stop the echoes and how to share screens. So yeah. But it's getting like 6:20. I'll have to go and get my boys some dinner soon. So I'll have to love you and leave you all and say thank you to everyone for spending their time with me and helping me in learning this and sharing some stuff. So yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. You raise your vibrations. Much love. Bye now.